making sausage and shrimp jambalaya. I'm going to show you how to put together the perfect jambalaya for a quick, easy meal any night of the week. So, first thing we're going to do is get together what's called our trinity. And the trinity is similar to a mirepoix in French, but our trinity is onions, bell peppers, and celery. Now, a mirepoix would take out the bell peppers and put in carrots. So I'm going to get these cut up, and the ratio here is half onions and the other half equal parts of celery and bell pepper. All right, we have our Holy Trinity cut up. We have onions, 2 types of bell peppers, and some celery. And that's going to be our Holy Trinity to develop flavors in our pot to help build our jambalaya. The next thing we're going to cut up is our sausage. This is the type of sausage that we're going to use in our jambalaya. It's called Country Pleasin'. It's a local brand here for us, but you can find a great local brand where you live. I like their sausage because they have lots of varieties, and this one is green onion, but I also have a little bit of the jalapeno pepper left over, and I'm going to use both of these in our jambalaya. I like to pull the outer casing off. So I just make a cut all the way through that, and then I pull this off, makes the edge a little bit better. It doesn't pull together when you cook it, and it doesn't have a tough edge. After we do that, we want to take and cut on a diagonal. And the reason we want to cut on a diagonal is you have more surface area. So if you cut a round circle and you put that in the pan, this is the only part touching the pan, and that's what's going to cook. But if you cut on a diagonal, now you've got more surface area that's touching the pan, and it actually helps you to cook a little bit faster. So I'm going to cut them all on a diagonal. I'm going to get those all cut up. I'm going to grab my shrimp and my rice, and I'm going to meet you over at the range. All right, we're going to cook off our jambalaya now. We got all of our mise en place ready. So we're turning on the pan. The first thing we're going to put in there is a little bit of olive oil, about 2 tablespoons. Then we're going to go ahead and get the meat cooked off, the sausage. We're going to render some of that fat in the pan, and once we get that cooked off and get that fat all rendered, then we're going to take the sausage back out. Once you get your sausage in the pan, you want to spread it all out where it's touching the pan on that long side that we cut on the diagonal. We're going to let that cook on each side for about 3 minutes. Once our sausage has browned off, we're going to take it out of the pan, and you can see we have all that nice renderings from the sausage. That is what we're going to use to cook our veggies in. So as soon as we get this out of the pan, we're going to leave the pan on, nice and hot. And we're going to go in with our celery, our bell pepper, and our onion, which is called our Holy Trinity. That's the sound you want to hear. All right, I'm also adding some garlic to that, about 2 tablespoons. We're going to stir that around and let these start to cook. It will pick up all that flavor off the bottom of the pan, which is what we want. Now we only want to cook this for about a minute because the rice is going to take about 12 minutes total to cook, and we're going to have time for this to cook down as well. So we want to stir this around and get it cooking, but then we're going to go ahead and get the rest of our stuff in here because the rice actually cooks down at the same time that the veggies do, and all of it is going to cook together and be done all at one time. So let me go ahead and get the rice. I'm putting 3 cups of jasmine rice right into the pan with our veggies. I'm going to go ahead and add to that some diced tomatoes. This is just 1 can of diced tomatoes. You could use fresh tomatoes if you want to cut some up and do that. We're also going to add about 1.5 cups of some tomato sauce. All right, now it's time to season, and we're going to add some broth as well. And the broth that we're going to be using is chicken broth. But we're going to go ahead and do the salt and pepper. From our pinch pot, we want to do a couple of good turns of salt, fresh ground pepper, and we're going to add some secret seasoning and our stock. Now our stock or broth should be the amount of water that you would normally use for the rice. So we put jasmine rice in here, and jasmine rice is 1.5 cups of water for every cup of the rice. We're going to substitute that water for some broth to give our rice a great flavor. We put 3 cups of rice in here, so that means we're going to put 4.5 cups of broth. We got to stir gently. Now, we're going to put the shrimp in last because shrimp cook really, really fast and we don't want them to get overcooked. But we're going to go ahead and put back in right now our sausage that we took out. And we're going to let this cook for 12 minutes. Now, rice needs to cook for 12 minutes and it needs to be covered. So let's go ahead and add this back in there. We're also going to add some secret seasoning. Stir it around, make sure the rice is not stuck to the bottom. And we're going to put a lid on this and we're going to let it cook for 12 minutes. And after that cooks, about 2 minutes before it's done, we're going to take the lid off and we're going to put our shrimp in there and let the shrimp cook down at the very last few minutes. And after it's done, we'll top it with some chopped green onions and we'll have our jambalaya. Our jambalaya has been cooking for 10 minutes. We've got 2 more minutes for the rice to completely cook, and we're going to use that 2 minutes to add our shrimp. So I want to show you what it looks like first. And it looks amazing. The rice is almost completely done. So what we're going to add is our shrimp. And these are frozen shrimp. They are fresh local Gulf shrimp. Oh, he almost escaped. Well, we want to put them in and let them cook for the last couple of minutes because they cook really fast and we don't want our shrimp overcooked. So what we're going to do is bury them down into the rice. This is such a beautiful dish and it's an easy dish to make any time of the week. You can make it on the weekends and have it for leftovers heated up also. It's also a good way to stretch. It's a pretty inexpensive dish to make. You can see we put way more sausage than we put shrimp, so you can save that way. And you don't have to put the shrimp, that's just a little extra. You could do sausage and chicken, which would make it more economical, but it's easy to get on the table pretty quickly. So we're gonna leave our shrimp buried and our rice cooking for another 2 minutes, and then the last thing we're gonna do is top it with some green onions and serve our jambalaya. All right guys, our jambalaya is done. Our shrimp have fully cooked. Our meal is ready to serve. We're going to top it with a few green onions. And that is your shrimp and sausage jambalaya. Make sure if you like this video to click the like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe. You can also catch us on Patreon if you want more content and more shows and more recipes. So make sure you follow us there as well. Thanks for watching. Once your jambalaya is all done and right before you serve, top it with some butter and let that butter melt down into the rice and enjoy your jambalaya.